Birkenstocks on. Let's get those out of the way. So, welcome to today's class. Thank you to those who participated in the poll. It's still up, by the way, so if you want to contribute to next week's class, just go to our Facebook page and select if you want a seated or standing class. Since we had a perfect 50-50 tie, 1 vote for seated and 1 vote for standing, I'm going to demonstrate a combined seated or standing class. All of these classes that I have been giving can be done either way, I just haven't demonstrated it. So I will demonstrate how to do the exercise standing and what to do if you're in sitting, so that both can participate today. Those of you who are new, my name is Becky. I'm part of the therapy team in Stride Mobile Physiotherapy here in the Okanagan Valley. So I'm going to read my trusty paper, because I always seem to forget something when I don't. Before you do any of our classes, please discuss with your physiotherapist or other healthcare professional prior to doing any classes. Not just this, any class. If you do feel dizzy, if you have any pain or shortness of breath while doing these exercises, please stop. And if you feel it's necessary or appropriate, please call 911. So, as you can see here, I have 2 chairs. This is going to be important for the standing portion. Now, for those who are going to do standing, it's important that you can stand for about half an hour. And it's very important that you have something stable in front of you. It doesn't have to be the chair. It can be your walker. It can be a kitchen counter. But what is important is that you have a sturdy chair behind you in case your legs get tired or sore and you need to sit down. So you don't have to walk anywhere, you can just sit down in a sturdy chair. Those of you who are going to be doing this class seated, that's not a problem because I'll be demonstrating that as well. And I'll alternate between demonstrating the standing exercises and demonstrating the seated exercises. So today's class is seated and standing strength. I'm just going to pull the Facebook up here on my tablet before we get going so that I can keep in touch with any comments that come up. There we go. Okay. Are the comments on? No, that's not what I want. I want comments. There we go. All right. But anytime you want to write in a comment or question, I'll be checking periodically throughout the class. So I'm going to start with the warm-up. Now, I'm going to turn the chair so we can see it for our seated participants, and it's going to be normal breathing. In standing, you can stand with the stable surface, be it a chair, a walker, counter, in front of you, always keeping one hand on for balance benefit, okay? So when we're doing our deep breaths, one or both hands hanging on to the stable surface in front of you, okay? Here we go. Sitting and standing nice and tall, let's take 3 deep belly breaths. In through our nose and out through our mouth. Excellent. All right, we're going to do pelvic tilts on this one. No, they're small marches and then arm raises. So in sitting, the march is, we're just doing small ones, right? Lifting the legs. This will be our march. Now I'm going to demonstrate in standing. Holding on to the firm surface, just small. This is just to get some weight shifting. We're not doing big steps yet, all right? So this is going to be 30 seconds of the march. I'll let you know when we begin. I'm going to stay standing for this demonstration. Then we'll move on to the next warm-up exercises, all right? So 30 seconds of mini marching starting now. You can also do this in your seat, as I showed you at the beginning. Good. 10 more seconds. Just get some nice back and forward movement and at a pace that's comfortable. Excellent. All right. So now we're going to go to arm raises. For those who are standing, one hand on the surface in front of you, and arm up and down slowly and always respecting pain. Arm up and down slowly and respecting pain. Okay? For those seated, we'll do the same. We'll do arm up and down slowly. We're going to do it 3 times each side. I'm going to stay seated this time. Those standing, make sure you're holding on with one hand. Those seated, make sure you're nice and comfortable. All right? Tall torso, and we'll go. Left arm first. Arm slowly up. And arm down. Good. Arm slowly up. And arm down. Last one for the left. Arm slowly up and down. Good. Let's switch sides. Going to the right. Arm slowly up and down. Arm slowly up and down. And last one. Good. Okay, so now we're getting into our exercise blocks. There are 3 blocks, and we're going to repeat each one twice. So, we're going to start with marching on the spot. So we did a warm-up where we did little marches. Now we're going to do bigger marches. I'm going to demonstrate what they look like sitting down. Then I'll demonstrate and carry out the activity standing up for the first repetition. Okay? So, in both cases, nice and tall through the torso, seated, we're going to lift our legs up as high as we can. Again, respecting pain. If anything hurts, just stay within the range that is pain-free, all right? So, seated will look nice and tall, one leg at a time, and I'll show you standing. Okay, standing, make sure we're holding on nice and tight. Lift the legs up as tall as you can, respecting pain, all right? So now we're going to do 10 marches each side. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right. Now we're going to do arms. Now those of you who are standing, if you feel comfortable now that you've been on your feet and you have the balance, you can take your hands off the surface in front of you and do both at the same time. If you don't, keep one hand on and do one arm separately, okay? So these are going to be arms out. Let me demonstrate that sitting down first. So we're going to go to the side, lifting arms to 90 degrees, or to where pain allows you. Bring to center. Out, bring to center. That's this exercise, what it's going to look like. Those of you who are standing, Open our feet to hip, shoulder width, and you can do both hands out if you're able to. If not, one hand on the surface in front of you, and you can switch, okay? All right, so again, since this is the first round, I'll demonstrate it in standing. All right, arms out 10 times each side. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Excellent job. Now we're going to go to kicks. So those of us in sitting, these will be kicking forward like this. Okay? Now, this is where it looks different. Those of you in standing will be kicking back. Okay? So make sure that there's nothing behind you obstructing your kick so that you don't knock your heels. Okay? So we're going to do 10 times each side. So those sitting, we're going to do 1, 2, right? See how I'm doing the same leg? And then we'll switch. Okay? Those in standing are going to kick back 10 times each side. Okay? So let's get started. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And switch. I'm moving because I have a fixed set. You can adjust as is safe and comfortable in your home. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good job. Okay, we've reached the end of our first round. We're going to go for our second round, of which I'm going to demonstrate in sitting. Excellent. All right, so marching on the spot, nice and tall, 10 times each leg. You can do it in standing or in sitting. Here we go. 1, lift those legs up as high as you can. 2, without pain, okay? 3, 4, 5, 6, really concentrating. 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, good job. Arms out to the side 10 times. So, arms to center or arms to center. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Excellent. Okay. moving into the final exercise of the first block. Here we go. So again, nice and tall through the torso, in sitting or standing. Make sure you've got something stable in front of you. Those of you standing will be kicking back. Those of us sitting will be kicking forward. So just a reminder, those sitting, it looks like this. Okay? Those standing, it looks like this. Okay? Here we go. Let's start with the right leg. Sitting nice and tall. Kick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good job. Switching to the left leg. All right. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Excellent job. We've made it to our first break. We're going to stand or sit tall through the torso and do 3 more deep breaths into our belly. All right, here we go. Excellent. I'm just going to check to see who's joined and what comments we have. Feel free to take a sip of water or another couple deep breaths. All right, I would like to say, they disappeared. How do I make them stay? Okay. Hello, Mayela y Francis and Kat. Gracias por unir al clase. Thank you for joining the class. Es muy importante y significa mucho. Hola a todos. Yes, again, if you have any questions or if I'm going too fast, let me know. I will be checking over here as best I can. And excellent. So if we've all had a nice sip of water and a good couple breaths, I'm going to steal a sip of water. Let's move on to our second block. Okay, so we're going to be doing heel raises, leg steps, and side bends. Okay. So heel raises in sitting, we want to have our feet closer to us so we have more range, okay? So if our feet are far out, they don't move as much. So let's make sure they're brought back to us, but not too far because then your heels won't touch the ground at all. So we'll be sitting again, nice and tall, nice and straight, comfy, and we're going to raise our heels. Okay, so that's what it'll look like for those in sitting, like this. Now, for those in standing, this is going to be a little more challenging because these muscles have to lift your whole body, so this will be good. Making sure you're holding on with both hands to the stable surface in front of you, feet shoulder width apart. You are going to come up onto your tiptoes and slowly come back down. For those of you in sitting and those of you in standing, this applies the same. Slow and controlled. It makes for a more beneficial exercise for those muscles. Okay? So standing is going to look like this. Sitting is going to look like this. And as in the last block, I will do the first set in standing and the second set in seating. The second set sitting down. So we're going to do 10 reps, all right? Make sure you're holding on to something steady, nice and tall through the torso. Same for those in sitting, nice and tall through the torso. And here we go. Up on toes, slowly down for 1. 2. We're doing 10 repetitions. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. Excellent. All right. Our next exercise is going to be legs apart and together. So we're going to be lifting the knee and abducting or moving the leg to the side. We're going to do this 10 times each leg, and always remember, respect pain. You can get pain in your hip, even your lower back, if this is too much. So if you feel any pain anywhere, just take the step to where it's comfortable. We do just want to get that extra bit of lifting and taking to the side to work those different muscles, all right? So those of you in sitting, nice and tall, make sure you don't have anything that gets in the way of your step to the best of your ability. And we're going to lift and step to the side. That's what it's going to look like, all right? It's going to look a little different for those of you in standing. Holding on with both hands, and you're going to lift your leg out to the side, like this. Okay? That's how it's going to look for you. So out as far as you can and back. Just like for those in sitting, always respecting pain. So one more time, we're going to do this for those of you in sitting, and this for those of you in standing. So let's go. 10 times each leg. Starting with the left leg. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Excellent. I'm taking a step over because there's a table here. Always make sure that you are holding on to something sturdy. Okay? Now we're going to start with our right leg. And 1, 2, 3. Making sure we stay nice and strong through this leg as well. Okay? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good job. Okay. So now we're going to do side bends. For those of you who are seated, I'm going to sit nice and tall, making sure that you're holding on to this side of the opposite side of the chair that you're leaning. So in this case, if I'm leaning to the left, I'm holding on to the right hand side. And I'm going to have my feet planted firmly on the floor. This is going to be a nice slow movement to get some movement through your spine. And then come back up into center. Everything slow, always respecting pain. So I'm going to demonstrate it again. This is what you're going to do. Nice and slow. Come back to center. We're going to do that 5 times. And then switch sides and get a nice side lean. Okay? Those of you in standing, feet shoulder width or a little more apart depending on your balance, holding on to that firm surface in front of you. If you can let go with one arm, we're just going to do a very slight bend and come back to center. Slight bend and come back to center. If you need both hands, keep these arms loose, and you can just do the same bend with both hands on the surface in front of you. Okay? So let's do 5 times each side, starting with the left-hand side. Here we go. I'm going to keep both hands on the surface in front of me. All right. Slowly bend to the left. And back to center for 1. 2. 3. 4. 5. Good, let's switch sides. Leaning to the right now. 1. 2. 3. 4. 5. Good. So that was the first block. Now we're moving into our second block. So I will be doing the second block in sitting. Those who are doing this standing can do the second repetition in standing. All right, so let's do our heel raises 10 times, slow and controlled. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Good. Moving on to legs apart. So those of you in standing, it'll be just lifting your leg to the side. For those of us in sitting, as I'm just checking to make sure there are no comments. Nope. We're going to be lifting up and out. Okay? So this will be what we're doing 10 times each leg. All right, make sure you're holding on nice and tight. Make sure you're nice and tall through your torso. Let's start with our side step. Start with the left leg. Here we go. 1, 2, always respect pain. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, we're going to switch to the right leg. So here we go. Nice and tall, holding on if you're standing. Let's go for 10 with the right leg. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Excellent job. This is probably one of the harder exercises, both in sitting and standing, because it's using so many muscles in our hips. They're so important. All right, let's move into 3 nice deep belly breaths. In through our nose, and out through our mouth. All right? Excellent. Okay, I'm just going to check the screen, always making sure I'm not missing anything. Oh, I don't want that. I want comments. There we go. Perfect. All right. No comments so far. Hola, Eric. Gracias por venir a clase. We have several international viewers. Eric nos une de Costa Rica, I believe. Thank you so much for joining. All right, so we're coming in to toe taps. So for those in standing, it'll be a little different, but let's start with those in sitting first. Opposite to heels up, we're going to step our legs forward a little so that we have more range, because if they're back here, you can't really move them much because they're already at pretty much where they can be. So step out, so you have nice range and movement through the ankles, but again, not too far because then it's limited. Anything in excess is bad, right? So here we go. We're going to keep our legs out in front of us a little, and we're going to do toe taps. Okay? So we can do, we'll probably have to do one leg at a time, but let's just see here. In standing, we can do both. Yes, we can. Feet shoulder width apart, hanging on with both hands to that stable surface in front of you. You're going to come up on your feet. You're going to lift your toes off the ground, which will put you back on your heels, and bring them back down. All right? So again, looking at my feet, I'll demonstrate what the exercise will look like. Feet are shoulder width apart, hanging on with both hands, toes up and down, toes up and down. Okay? So one more time for sitting, feet out in front of us slightly, toes up, down, toes up, down. We'll be doing both legs at the same time, and we'll do 10 repetitions. So I will do it in standing for the first round, then I will do it in sitting for the second round. Okay? For both, nice and tall through the torso, and let's do our toe taps. So, feet shoulder width apart, hanging on with both hands. Here we go. Toes up, toes down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Excellent job. All right. So now we're going to come to our next exercise, which is rows. So you can do this a couple ways. If you're good and stable on your feet and your feet are shoulder width apart or slightly more, you can work with both hands. So we're going to do this. Okay? If you feel off balance at all, grab onto that stable surface in front of you. If you can't let go with both hands, you can do it one hand at a time, so that you're stable at all times. I'm going to do the count with both hands, but you can do, to keep up, you can do slightly faster, one hand at a time, if you want to keep holding on. Okay? So that's how it's going to look in standing. For those of us in sitting, nice and tall, arms in front. And for both sitting and standing, when we reach out, our fingers nice and stretched and back into fists. Nice and stretched and back into fists. Okay? So we're going to do 10 of these. So here we go. Feet shoulder width apart or more, but not too much. This is about right. And here we go with the rows. Stretch our fingers apart when our hands are in front of us for 1, and fists once they're against your body. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Remember, nice and tall through the torso. 8. Always nice length through the torso. 9, 10. Excellent job. All right. So back to our second round, and as promised, we're going to demonstrate the second round in sitting, but just as a reminder, we're doing toe taps for those standing, both hands, then lift your toes. Make sure you're good and stable, okay? So we're going back to our 10 toe taps, legs or feet slightly forward, both toes up. So here we go for 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Good. Now we're going to do arms, we're going to do rows. Looked at the wrong section there. All right. So, nice and secure in our chairs, nice and long through the torso. Those of you in standing, if you're not going to hold on, make sure your feet are at least shoulder width apart, or you can alternate your hands for safety and comfort. So, those of us in sitting, those of us in standing, tall through our torso, fists when our hands are near our body, and jazz hands. I love that. When we're reaching out in front of us. Okay? So let's go for 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Excellent job. All right. So did I do forward leans? I didn't do that. I skipped an exercise because I've made notes on an existing exercise sheet. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. We're going to be repeating this 2 times in a row. I'll demonstrate what people do in standing and what people do in sitting, because this time they're going to be completely different exercises. So, I apologize. For our final exercise of the 3rd block, we're going to do, for those of you in sitting, we're going to make sure we're good and sturdy in our chairs, nice and tall through the torso. If it's better for you to put your legs out in front of you for better stability, that's fine, because we're going to be doing forward leans. Okay? So we're going to be putting our arms out in front of us. We're going to be bending at the hips, not at the back. We're not doing this. That's a no. We are bending at the hips with a straight torso. So if I don't include my arms, it'll look like this. Okay? That's the action. You're going to hinge at your hips right here. So if I add the arms, it'll look like this. Okay, so that's what we're going to do for those of you in sitting. For those of us in standing, we're going to feet shoulder width apart, hanging on with both hands. We're going to do mini squats. Okay? Nice and slow. See, I'm not going very far. Tall through the torso. We're going to do nice, controlled right? We don't want to slouch. This is not what we're doing. Nice, long, strong torso, holding on with both hands, and just a slight bend in the knee and hip. Okay? This is what the mini squat is going to look like. So we're going to do 10 of this exercise. So again, those who are in sitting, you can pull your feet out in front of you just to have more stability. You're going to reach with your arms, bend at the hips, straight torso. Okay? So for the first repetition, I'll demonstrate the mini squats in standing. Those of you in sitting will lean forward. And then for the second repetition, I'll be in sitting. Okay? So we're going to do 10. All right. Feet shoulder width apart, hanging onto the surface in front of you. Nice, slow, long torso, mini squats. Those of you in sitting, forward leans. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Excellent. All right, going into our second repetition of this final exercise. Those in standing are going to do another set of mini squats. Those in sitting are going to do another set of forward leans. So, feet out in front of us, or in the case of standing, feet shoulder width apart. Those of us in standing, hanging on to the surface with both hands, doing your mini squats. Those of us in sitting, we're going to do our forward leans. Okay? We're going to do 10. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. And remember, always respecting pain. 5, nice and tall through your torso. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Excellent. Well, congratulations. We've completed today's class. That is the wrong time. And we're going to move into our cool down. And I want to thank everyone for joining. Any other comments? Okay. So note, we're going to do 3 deep breaths and then some stretches. So here we go. Excellent. So, for those in those who are seated, we're going to be moving that leg slightly forward. It can be either side. We're going to reach across and down to feel a stretch through the back of our leg and our back, always respecting pain. For those who are standing, we're going to step back slightly, put one leg in front of you. We're going to bend at the waist. You should feel a stretch through the back of your leg. So holding on with both hands. Straight torso, not slouching. Keeping a straight torso. Just bend till you feel a nice stretch in the back of your leg. Okay? We're going to hold that for 20 seconds. Or if you're tired, those of you who are in standing, if you want to do this in sitting, more than welcome. So I'll be doing the stretch in sitting. You can do it in standing or sitting. So, nice stretch, always respecting pain. Five, four, three, two, one. Slowly up. Good job. Switch. And slowly down. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and slowly up. Excellent. Thank you so much for joining us today in our combination class. Please leave us a comment or send us a message on Facebook to let us know what you thought of this class. We love feedback and we try to apply it right away. Also, please check out our poll to vote on what type of class you would like to see next week. If you're just tuning in now, that's okay. All of our videos are archived right on the Facebook here, and you can also go to stridephysio.ca, select our videos section, and everything is saved there too. So again, my name is Becky. I'm part of the therapy team with Stride Mobile Physiotherapy here in the Okanagan, and I'd like to thank you for joining us today. Okay? So now I'm going to walk and turn this off because I'm totally solo. All right, have a great day, guys. Thank you so much.